before this opens. Look like twins. Old woman's brother. Must be. Look like twins. Old woman's brother. Must be. Somebody lived here once. Something here. A chest. Dolores. Dolores. A journal. Little wear and tear. Someone's journal. Neckers surface here, dig their way out.
Come on! He's ours! You're fucked.
Show me what you got.
Don't let him catch his breath!
Not so fast, Roach. Slow now. Whoa. Faster. Slow now.
Save me! They'd have eaten me alive for certain. The corpses must have drawn him. Thank you for not leaving me there. Seems luck's with me at times after all.
Luck? Guess things could be worse. You get infected recently? That why you haul corpses?
What? No, it's my job. Well paid too.
Thing is, you're not a witcher or a mage, so you're not immune.
I'm no foul mutant, thank the gods. But no worries, me. It's just, well, no illness ever holds me.
How did this happen?
Axle snapped first. So, I poked me in underneath, see if I could fix it. Then out of the blue, a howl from the woods. My mare reared as if a wolf had already clinched her hind. The cart tipped and whoa, the cargo fell right on top of me.
Your horse run off?
Aye, damn thing bolted. Ain't that my luck? If it don't rain, a wagon of stiffs pours on me head.
Gonna need a new cart. Gotta burn this one, soon.
Can't I just bury the stiffs somewhere near? Cart's still fit for fixing.
Anyone learns you carried plague victims in it, no one will ever hire you again.
Why would they need to learn? I won't tell if you don't.
And you'll spread the pox for miles around.
Oh, needs must, I suppose. Got anything to start a fire with? Well, lit up like a bale of straw. Am I ever lucky I ran into ye? Thanks for your help and wise counsel.
Here's some more. Go home, burn those clothes, and scrub yourself thoroughly.
Yo, sure, but I tell you true, no blight could touch me.
Sure hope so. Farewell.
Fuck it, hell, that stinks.
Sir.
Still unwell. Head's hot as a heart.
Whoa!
She's seeing things.
Want to take her into the swamp to see her sisters.
A free-head fellow like you's got to be experienced.
You've returned. What's become of my home?
It's safe now.
I thank you. This means so much. And perchance did you find my chest? With my treasures?
Yeah, pretty generous as rewards go.
You've earned every last bit.
Time I was on my way.
Gods guide you.
What do they call you? Know how to fight?
Geralt. And yes.
That
I'm ready. Let's fight.
good folk. Fish go.
Spare me a minute before the fight, master. Please. Cut of your mugs plain as day. What am I beside ye? I just want to live. Show some pity. Take a fall for me.
not about to lose on purpose. If you want to win, you gotta beat me.
Bothering us poor folk.
Yes, we might have known. The Witcher took Fish Gulper and fish ploughed his gob. Near warmed me heart to see him renovate his head. Not bad, not bad. Time to try your luck against Jonah. And then there's Smithy at the Inn of the Crossroads. Go to it, friend. Sight.
So mad he's trying to grip me.
See, you're a man well travelled, so tell me. Should I beat me wench once a week? Bravo.
Come on, folks. Ain't no one willing to fight Smithy. There's a prize awaiting if you win.
Want a chat? No one
What
me.
is it,
My head's a
playboy?
twirling with hunger.
Plowing hangover.
Let's
Smithy
give
is
Crowley
village
a
champion.
wide berth.
His head would look lovely. Look to me like a...
I'm ready to fight.
One and all. The wit... Hair of the hound. Got any vodka? Not bad. Might be champion yet. You've still Jonah to beat.
You can try to win them all, but you won't.
Don't hit me, sir.
Lay me down about. Coffins.
Heard you can get food from the Baron's men. Get... How? You know? You just gotta... Little lad, they give you a nod. What are you looking at?
Will you join the tournament? Eh? Thought I'd warn you.
What are the rules?
We mostly use fists, but no one looks askant. Defeat Jonah, then...
All right. Let's see just how fierce Jonah is.
Feast your eyes!
leave him in the forest.
Oh, for crying out loud.
All in goes the elves doing. Keller said the bloodsucker fell from the elven group.
Drifters defeated Jonah! If you want to be champion.
You can try to win them all. You won't.
Little prick.
Ye seek trouble? Don't.
Now you.
Who dared to burn the barons?
Right, give me the toys. Tails, we clean the shit out of the stage.
I'll tell you where the loot's at.
Where'd you come from?
Finally found the old mate, split the loot between you.
They watch it, you clod.
I'm ready.
Huh? Look who we have here!
Business seems good, even with the Baron gone.
Life's short, but art's eternal.
Let's start.
All right, come to daddy.
What a fight! Let it be known by one and all that the Witcher has defeated the Sergeant and become champion of all Velen. If you've not had your fill, you'll find worthy pugilists elsewhere. Plenty of them in Novigrad, plenty in the Skelliger Isles. Don't object to your white mug.
You, white one. What's your business? Bloody Baron know you're here?
You can try to win them all, but you won't.
Pam, ram, pam.
Yeah? Luck's on a lot of you.
Right, give me the
Folk
coins.
don't object to
Tails
your
will
white
clean the
mug.
shit out of the stable. Heads will go grab some tea. You look familiar.
Told you we've not left.
Won't mind you. Thing is,
Got their asses whipped like a Novigrad whore. You sup-
place of power. gave me. An illusion.
How you like that silver?
Welcome back to another incredible armor set. Well, my friends, as soon as you have finished the starting area of White Orchard, you'll come here to Velen, located here on the map. Zoom out a bit, and we're going to go south, directly south, across the river, here on the map to Dragon Slayer's Grotto until you get here, and then just mark this exact point on the map itself. It is very hidden in the forest though, so let's go inside. If you haven't already got some upgraded swords, I recommend you actually play, and then you can actually change the difficulty level to just the sword at the end. Use to ignore the poison effects, or you could just run through it, or we can use the Ard or Ingi spell to get through these rocks and then not to get hit by its claws as much as possible. Power attack, but just keep up that assault, don't let it hit you too many times and you'll be golden. We're good. But as you can loot around here, including journal and diagram, griffin armor, trousers, boots, and gauntlets. So we have the whole griffin armor set in this one location. One hard boss battle, but then you get the whole set. And you can turn down the difficulty if you have any real difficulty there. So to actually craft the armor, the black... Let's have a chat. Leave a quick little text-based guide. Here we have the Griffin Silver Sword, and then down here we have the Hangman's Tree. So subscribe and let's get going west across these two rivers all the way to this corner of the map where you're going to find a lighthouse. Let's zoom in right here, called Lornrock.
What's happening, guys? Your adrenaline point gain is so high that even losing adrenaline points is inconsequential compared. Some final things to mention before we jump into the stats. Obviously, make sure that you get all of your oils upgraded to Superior. This is going to give us a 50% attack power boost against whatever we're fighting, which is quite nice in combat. And then on top of that, you want to make sure you get all of your decoction and potion recipes. As I mentioned, making sure that gets your toxicity up nice and high. Honorable mention does go to Superior Thunderbolt, giving us an extra 35% attack power boost and 100% critical hit chance during storms. But we're already so absurd, this just kind of puts us into God status, so something to keep in mind. But jumping on over into the stats, as you can see, just at base without all of our stuff up, we're looking at a 15% critical hit chance on our Silver Sword fast attacks, a 30% critical hit chance on our Steel Sword fast attacks, vitality just under 14,000 as I mentioned, toxicity with all the recipes that we know is up to 271. Because of Euphoria, you can see our sign intensity is at 214, giving us a 141% chance to stagger with Ard, a 100% chance to burn with Igni, 36% slowdown with Yurden, and Axii that lasts almost 15 seconds. All in all, it is just totally awesome. So as I previously mentioned, for combat, we're going to be going all over the place and just showing some short clips of combat. First up, we have a character panel. At first glance, you can see we have 6 combat skills up top, 5 alchemy down below, 1 general, and then 2 more alchemy skills in the additional slots that were unlocked via mutation. Now, while I don't have the other 2 additional slots that can be unlocked, quite simply, there's not enough experience to be gained in New Game to get those. Despite that, I will go into what skills I would suggest for New Game Plus players. But moving into the combat tree, we're going to pick up Muscle Memory, increasing our fast attack damage. Precise Blows, increasing our fast attack critical hit chance and damage. Whirl, because it is a fantastic AoE ability for multiple human enemies, and additionally, probably the most damaging ability in the game against larger monsters that are staggered or those that you have an opening against. Rend, because it is a fantastic on-demand burst with a strong attack, and on top of that, it has very powerful because that are staggered or those that you have an opening against. Ability for multiple human enemies, and additionally, probably the most damaging ability in the game against larger monsters that are staggered or those that you have an opening against. Rend, because it is a fantastic on-demand burst with a strong attack, and on top of that, it has very powerful synergies with both our decoctions as well as our 3-piece bonus for the Cat School gear. Sunder Armor, because quite simply, reducing the enemy's damage resistance will increase our own damage. And then the last skill we're going to pick up is Resolve, because having our adrenaline points maintain at 100% is very important to maximize the damage potential of this build. Now in New Game Plus, when you have a lot more points to play around with, I would actually suggest replacing Resolve with Razor Focus, quite simply because with Razor Focus, your adrenaline point gain is so high that even losing adrenaline points is inconsequential compared to how fast you gain them. But being as we had a lot of points we had to put into Alchemy, I wanted to stick with one of the skills that we had to get to reach the later tiers in this tree. Moving on over into the Alchemy tree though, the first thing we're going to want to pick up is Acquired Tolerance. Now this is hands down probably one of the best abilities in the game. In my opinion, it should be used in every build. When you have all your alchemic formulas and you have this at level 3, you'll have enough toxicity to where you can use 3 decoctions without exceeding the safe threshold, which needless to say, 3 decoctions at once is very, very powerful. Moving on from there, we're going to want to pick up Poison Blades. Having this is going to give us the 15% chance to poison, and the damage from that is quite significant. Now, one thing I want to point out in comparison is in the previous build I used Crippling Strikes. I would highly suggest avoiding that skill because the bleeding effect applied via Crippling Strikes is actually kind of nerfed in comparison to what your sword can do with just a 15% chance to strikes. I would highly. Now, one thing I want to point out is going to give us the 15%. Moving on from there, we're going to want to pick up Poison Blades. Having this is going to give us the 15% chance to poison, and the damage from that is quite significant. Now, one thing I want to point out in comparison is in the previous build I used Crippling Strikes. I would highly suggest avoiding that skill because the bleeding effect applied via Crippling Strikes is actually kind of nerfed in comparison to what your sword can do with just a 15% chance to bleed. Poison Blades, on the other hand, actually applies poison that is scaled up to your damage level, so it's not a set small amount like Crippling Strikes is, but instead this can be quite a large potential damage boost. Moving on from there, we're going to pick up Tissue Transmutation, which quite simply, because we're running 3 decoctions, will give us an extra 3,000 vitality. And then after that, we're going to run Endure Pain, which will increase our maximum vitality by 50% when we exceed the safe threshold. So 3 decoctions, we are still safe. Upon popping 1 potion, we'll exceed the safe threshold. But as you can see, just looking in general, we have 1,575 vitality from our bonuses. We're going to have 3,000 vitality from this. We have the natural vitality that we gain from just leveling up in our gear. So with Endure Pain, we actually come in just under 14,000 vitality. And that is with light gear, not heavy gear. So needless to say, that is a lot of health. Moving on from there, we're going to grab Synergy. Very, very powerful ability, probably one of the most powerful in the game, increasing those bonuses. Just to better visualize this, as you can see, we're getting 60%, 60%, and then 900 vitality for triple slotted skills. Without Synergy, you can see that goes down to 450, and then 40 and 40. So, you know, just having Synergy on alone, like without even considering the vitality bonuses, Synergy is giving us 40% more attack power, which is huge. Moving into the other skills, though, that we have, you are going to pick up Protective Coating, just to give us a flat 25% protection boost against the monster of the oil we're using. And on top of that, you'll want to make sure that you get all of your oils up to max, because a max oil will give you a 50% attack power boost, but we'll go more into that when we get over to the gear. And then the last one we're going to want to pick up is Hunter Instinct, making it so that when our adrenaline points are at their maximum, critical hit damage against the targeted enemy type is increased by 100%. And obviously, this is why we ended up going with Resolve, just to make sure we can maintain that those adrenaline points to maximize the chance of getting that and proccing that off. Now, as for the 2 additional slots, what I would suggest is the first skill you'll want to pick up is Killing Spree. If toxicity is above 0, each opponent killed increases critical hit chance by 10% for the duration of that fight. Needless to say, this actually gets up quite a bit higher as you level it up, but it makes you extremely devastating. And then for our last skill, you have a little bit more flexibility here. Depending on what you like, the 2 I would suggest would be either side effects, giving you a chance of getting an extra random potion, which is always beneficial, or alternatively, if you really like using bombs, Cluster Bombs is a ton of fun to play with. Had a little bit of time testing this, and it was quite hilarious seeing a multi-bomb go off. Very devastating. So looking more in depth at our actual mutation, which is what's making this all possible, we are going for Euphoria. Now, the fantastic thing about Euphoria is obviously this build has a very strong emphasis on swordplay, but on top of that, even though we have nothing going into signs, because this will increase our sign intensity, we basically hit the critical threshold on all of our signs. So Igni will always light foes on fire, Ard will always knock foes down if it can. All in all, fantastic mutation. Probably the best in the game for hybrid builds. Compared to some of the other choices, just to look through briefly, Toxic Blood actually tested this out, not worthwhile at all. Looking at the combat tree ones, sword attacks deal 25% more damage. You know, that sounds great and all, but 25% more damage versus going with this, where we're looking at a maximum of 200% damage, that's pretty OP. Bloodbath, in a similar nature, you know, it can get up to 250, but if we take damage, we end up losing that bonus immediately, which is kind of bad. The only other one that I really, really like out of all these potentials is going to be Piercing Cold, but that is actually reserved for a sign build, one where you focus on Ard, so obviously not as important here. You know, if you're going for a very strong side build, Piercing Cold definitely a lot of fun to play with, but given the nature of this build, you are going to be best off going with Euphoria, hands down. So the last skill that we have in our tree, of course, is our general, and that's going to be Cat School Technique. Because we're wearing all light armor, this just gives us a 20% increase to our fast attack damage and a 100% increase to our critical hit damage. So obviously a very, very nice boost from that. So hopping on over into the inventory, you can see that we are still running the feline armor with the Grandmaster Feline Gauntlets, the Grandmaster Feline Boots, the Grandmaster Feline Trousers, and then lastly, the Mastercrafted Feline Armor. Now, obviously, if you want to maximize your character, feel free to go for the Grandmaster Feline Armor. personally, I really don't like the look of the hood that it adds on, so I decided to just stick with Mastercrafted. If you're on PC, you can actually use a mod to remove the hood, so that's no longer a concern. On console, you can wear the glasses on Geralt or use a mask, and that'll also get rid of the hood, but I didn't want to deal with all that, and I just, I really like the aesthetics of the Mastercrafted versus the Grandmaster. Additionally, just looking at the color scheme, you may notice it's all black. We have black armor dyes on all 4 pieces as well. As for the glyphs, we have Ignisign intensity, but to be completely honest, you can really use whatever glyphs you want. We're already going to have so much intensity because of the Euphoria mutation that it doesn't really matter, and these glyphs are only going to come into play when you don't have 3 decoctions, which more often than not, you will have those all up. As for our weapons, first up we have the Silver Sword, and that is Erendite. Now this is hands down the best Silver Sword in the game. For 2 reasons. One, each blow generates charges which increase sword damage by 10%. So literally, every time you hit something, 10% more damage, 10% more damage, 10% more damage. That's absurd. On top of that, the secondary effect, killing a foe with a fully loaded sword will expend its charge to permanently increase the weapon's damage. So in short, this sword will level up with you. Now, this will increase the weapon's damage. So in short, this sword will level up with you. On top of that, the secondary effect, killing a foe with a fully loaded sword will expend its charge to permanently increase the weapon's damage. So in short, this sword will level up with you. Now, this sword comes from a quest in the Blood and Wine DLC called There Can Be Only One. It involves basically exhibiting the 5 chivalric virtues of knights in Toussaint. So this spans across a bunch of different things that you can do in the Blood and Wine DLC, so you may want to look into this quest a little bit deeper just to make sure you don't mess it up and lose out your chance at this sword. Fantastic weapon all around. It doesn't initially come with rune slots, but through using the rune right that we unlock in the Hearts of Stone DLC, we can add 3 slots. Because I already have Poison through Coated Blades and Burn Chance through Igni, I decided to go with Bleeding to ensure that I have access to all 3 damage over time effects, even when using the Silver Sword. As for our Steel Sword, we are using the Toussaint Steel Sword. Now this is probably the best steel sword in the game prior to New Game Plus, with armor piercing, critical hit damage bonus, critical hit chance, burning, and bleeding. On top of that we have 3 slots, so we just stocked it at attack power. Feel free to go with one that you prefer though. You actually get this from the treasure hunt quest, The Last Exploits of Selena's Gang. This involves getting a key off the south coast of the cemetery in Beauclair, and then following that you're going to end up going down into the catacombs and you'll find the diagram for this sword down there. Moving on down, we have Geralt of Rivia's crossbow. This is from the Knightly Tournament quest. Not really needed. You can use whatever crossbow you want. I barely use the crossbow as is, so not a big concern. But going into our decoctions, first up we have Troll Decoction. Now this thing is probably your best friend, especially on Death March. Since we don't regenerate health at all on Death March, even when we're meditating, this will ensure that our health is always topped off with 100 vitality regeneration when we're out of combat. On top of that, having 20 vitality regeneration in combat is enough to offset the health loss we would experience from going over our toxicity threshold, which is quite nice. Moving on from there, we have a very well-known combination running Echidna and Archgriffin. Now, Echidna we had in the previous build, performing actions that consume stamina regenerates vitality, so obviously anytime we cast a sign we're getting vitality back. But now with using Archgriffin, as you can see, if any stamina is available, strong attacks consume all of it and reduce the struck foe's vitality by 5% after their normal damage is calculated. So just to go more in depth into the synergy here we're looking at, and this is a very disgusting combo. So, we're going to have Rend. We're going to use Rend to open combat, which is going to ignore enemy defense, increase critical hit chance by 50% on our strong attack. On top of that, because we are running the Archgriffin decoction, that strong attack, aside from already ignoring enemy's defense and having 50% increased critical hit chance, it's going to reduce their vitality by 5%, and it's going to stuck away our stamina, and it's going to heal us because of Echidna decoction. And then on top of that, because we have the 3-piece feline set, it's going to increase the damage of our fast attacks by 30% for 5 seconds after. So very, very beautiful synergy right there. It just all comes together and allows you to open with a strong attack, go into fast attacks, and just devastate everything. As for the main potion we have on our hotbar, we're running Superior Tawny Oil. We already have fantastic stamina regeneration through using light armor, but with running Superior Tawny Oil, our stamina regen is so fast that we can basically just freely spam signs in combat without really having to worry about stamina at all. So All in all, very nice. Last thing I want to point out is the one bomb I always have on, and that is Superior Northern Wind. Really is fantastic when you level this up. It'll freeze everything for 10 seconds. Absolutely devastating when taking on larger groups of enemies. On top of that, giving us the chance of an instant kill. Always fun when there's large groups like the Hanses you're going to fight in Blood and Wine. Some final things to mention before we jump into the stats. Obviously, make sure that you get all of your oils upgraded to Superior. This is going to give us a 50% attack power boost against whatever we're fighting, which is quite nice in combat. And then on top of that, you want to make sure you get all of your decoction and potion recipes. As I mentioned, making sure that gets your toxicity up nice and high. Honorable mention does go to Superior Thunderbolt, giving us an extra 35% attack power boost and 100% critical hit chance during storms. But we're already so absurd, this just kind of puts us into God status, so something to keep in mind. But jumping on over into the stats, as you can see, just at base without all of our stuff up, we're looking at a 15% critical hit chance on our Silver Sword fast attacks, a 30% critical hit chance on our Steel Sword fast attacks, vitality just under 14,000 as I mentioned, toxicity with all the recipes that we know is up to 271. Because of Euphoria, you can see our sign intensity is at 214, giving us a 141% chance to stagger with Ard, a 100% chance to burn with Igni, 36% slowdown with Yurden, and Axii that lasts almost 15 seconds. All in all, it is just totally awesome. So as I previously mentioned, for combat, we're going to be going all over the place and just showing some short clips of combat. First up, we have a Slizzard, though. Just for documentation's sake as well, hopping on into options and gameplay, you can see we are playing on Death March with enemy upscaling on. So let's take on the first thing with the Slizzard. Come here, buddy. Stop that. Where's it going? Look at it, it's trying to run. Doesn't want anything to do with Geralt. Look, it's already half dead, too. And then pretty much as soon as we got the whirl combo, down it goes. There we go, bunch of Rot Fiends. They're dead. Alright, bunch of Kikimoras. Full on nest. They're all dead. Alright, now we got a bandit camp. Let's go take out that archer first. He's in half. Come on, boys. And they're all instantly on fire. Bleeding, poison, and burning. Nice. Of course, 100% knockdown chance means we can just do that anytime we want. Oh! Absolutely wrecked. Now we got a Forktail. Also dead. Alright, so another monster den. Ooh, vampires. Ooh, this will be good. Ooh, okay. Something that's a challenge for once. Just kidding. You're not a challenge. What are you? You're not a vampire, are you? Oh no, you are. You're just a crazy type I've never seen before. This thing's actually making me pop a Quen. It's impressive. I mean, it's already bleeding, so it's gonna die anyway. Harkins. Alright, and to wrap things up, I got one more bandit camp for you guys. He's dead. He's in half. He's cut up. Like, it's just absurd. Doesn't matter what we fight. This build slaughters everything. And I'm pretty sure I just got a double critical hit there for like 30,000 damage. So either way, guys, that is the build. You know, like I said, it doesn't matter if we're fighting bandits or new vampires that we've never even seen before. This build slaughters everything. So either way, if you enjoyed it, make sure to try it on out. It is a ton of fun, really is. On top of that, if you want to see more of this in action, we are moving on towards wrapping up the Blood and Wine DLC. So the next couple episodes, we'll be moving into kind of the last stages of the main quest, fighting a bunch of bosses. So if you want to see the build tear bosses apart, make sure to stay tuned for that. And either way, thanks for coming on by, and we'll catch you guys next time. What is happening, guys? Cowboy here, and we are back with more Blood and Wine for you. So let's head on into the playroom and see what this is all about.
Locked. Of course. Regis, rather not have a fist fight with this door. Do you mind?
Not at all.
Oh, yes, that's right. Regis can just slip inside and unlock stuff.
Thanks.
At your service.
Utter silence. No one here.
We should look around at least.
Miniature tableware and plush toys.
Rocking horse.
Cute.
Rather worn. I suppose it was.
Wooden duck. Somebody broke its wings off. Nice tune.
Indeed, pleasant. It's a shame the mechanism's damaged. Mirror, mirror on the wall. I despise these things.
What the? Found a notebook. Property of Isabelle de Roquefort, court governess. The notes of Siana and Anna Henrietta's governess when they were little.
I'm not sure it will help, but I suppose there's no harm in leafing through them.
Siana gave me a drawing today.
Charming.
Of freshly decapitated bodies covered in blood.
Perhaps
Jesus.
not so much.
I asked her why ever she would draw such a thing. Her Highness claimed it was a rendering of nightmares which have plagued her for as long as she can remember. Siana does wake up screaming nearly every night, save when she shares a bed with Henrietta. Curse of the Black Sun. Supposedly girls afflicted by it had horrible dreams. Kind of horrible that made some of them go mad. The girls quarreled today. I must note rather sadly they did not behave as befits future ladies. The incident devolved into fisticuffs. Anna Henrietta was first to strike her sister. Siana came back as good as she'd gotten. By the time I separated them, Henrietta had lost 2 teeth. She ran off to complain to her parents. His Grace the Duke refused to believe my version of events. He laid all the blame on Siana and vowed to punish the little one harshly. Henrietta did her best to have her sister's sentence commuted, but the Duke and Duchess proved unbending.
Once you're labeled a black sheep, it's so hard to shed that reputation.
Sounds like Henrietta was a little bitch too.
I accompanied the girls for the first time to the land of 1,000 fables. We spent half the day there. First we played with Thumbelina, then with Barbarossa. who proved quite the charmer for a brigand and pirate.
I'm beginning to suspect Isabel de Roquefort wrote in her diary after taking a powerful hallucinogenic. Cannabis rudelaris, for instance, or...
Shh, don't interrupt. I had tipped.
So you've binged the Witcher series on Netflix and are either a
Let's go!
Whoa there, Roach.
faster. Medallion's humming. Place of power, it's gotta be. draw from it. Medallion's humming. Place of power, it's gotta be.
of power. Should draw from it.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to
And once you arrive, it's going to look like this. It's so picturesque, so beautiful. And this is where we're going to find the silver sword from the Griffin set. So what I recommend doing is going down to the right here, because there's actually a secret entrance to this lighthouse. Just drop down here and be careful as you slide down here to the bottom. And you go plosh. Magic. Obviously there's a place of power here, so you can get a free skill point there, but we're going to dive down underwater because there's actually a hidden... Oh god, a drowner! Goodness me, we can use our crossbow underwater to get rid of them, but to be honest, I'm just going to ignore it, and we're going to swim under this cave here and carry on going, because this is like the secret entrance into the lighthouses. All lighthouses have this secret entrance, by the way. But once you're inside, we can climb on up here. You're going to find a loot chest here, which you can grab some nice Eternal Fire Executioner armor from. And then we can climb up into the middle of the lighthouse here. There's a ladder just here.
Medallion's humming. Place of power. It's gotta be.
Winds howling.
Here that takes us up to the top. As guys, find another silver sword in this chest, and you're going to find the Witcher Silver Griffin sword in this chest. So if we look at this chest, we have crafting notes and we have the Griffin, another ladder which you can take, and you're going to find the Witcher Silver Griffin.
Geralt and Yennefer were reunited, but something even more important happened in Vizima. Geralt learned that Cirilla, his one-time ward, had returned from afar, and she was in danger. He was to find her, at the Emperor's command and Yennefer's behest.